Psychic phenomenon, often associated with extrasensory perception, has been reported by people that encounter UAPs or have alien encounters or remote viewing.
Or are we dealing with something like you said that could be somewhere on a spectrum of different intelligence?
Just doing the research, it's not one intelligence. You know, we're being visited by a plethora of different, call them alien civilizations, for want of a better word, right? So there's this sort of whole spectra of different creatures who have been reported over the last 80 years. They have slightly different craft. All of these creatures seem to interact with human society according to certain guidelines.
It was Ingo Swann who speculated that there was an Earth-side language, so to speak, and a space-side language, so to speak. And he wondered if the common language was telepathy and ESP.
Edgar Mitchell came walking by. He had been just back from space. He had actually done ESP experiments from space. And he said, I overheard what Targ is proposing here, and I'm going to work for SRI as a contractor. I might be able to help you convince the management there that ESP is a real thing.
And we know some of the phenomenon, but understanding the precise physics and how quantum enters into it is still quite mysterious.
Remote viewing is an intriguing and controversial practice that involves perceiving or describing details about distant or unseen targets through extrasensory perception.
The stages that I've used in remote viewing stopped at stage 4, but the stages 1 through 4 I felt were the most important. And having those, you can already get started into remote viewing. So these were developed initially by Ingo Swann and then taken on by the US government.
I think we're descendants of the original inhabitants of Mars, and we're the ones that never went back.
My sense of it was that they had some kind of a technology where you could interrogate it and it would give you answers. It would tell you why they're not existing anymore.
And we would get intelligence requests from consumers directed looking for sci-int, if you will. They were afraid of us enough that they were actually managing our social context in such a way that our own people try to suppress this idea of developing ESP and consciousness and psychic abilities. Ingo thinks that the aliens could well be at the root of that.
It was your typical one with the suit and the fingers and, you know, the big black eyes, and the regular one just see the small nose and chin.
But it was wearing a suit?
It had some kind of a suit on, yeah. A very skin-tight suit.
So he was working within a classified project at this point?
He was invited in to try to communicate with the extraterrestrial.
They told him, we're here studying ourselves before we started integrating technology into our bodies.